Alright folks, welcome back. I'm Dave. This is my channel. This is your channel. This is Tulsi Gabbard's channel. Save America, Vote Tulsi Gabbard. She is, what, like less than 3,000, I think, away right now. Unique donations from getting to the debate stage. This is a voice, folks, that is going to scare the establishment to a point where they're not going to know what to do with her. I saw a video. This is how much Tulsi Gabbard has crossover appeal. People are going to start to see her candidacy. That crazy guy, Mark Dice, who does videos online, he's got a lot of subscribers, and typically he's poking fun at liberals and liberal causes and so forth. He had Tulsi Gabbard in a video where he talked about how there was one sane Democrat who was saying about the Mueller investigation, like, move on, we got issues to tackle, it's a good thing. Tulsi Gabbard's getting skewered for saying it's a good thing that our president isn't a Russian agent. She's getting skewered for that. She's getting, really? It's a good thing? You just are delusional. You're delusional. And you got to look at people and go, would you want the country to go through that? And this is where I think the tribalism is blinding. It's blinding to people. Like, you want to win this so bad, and you want to win on a technicality. You don't want to win on issues. You know, this is like a bad call by a referee in an NFL game. And you're like, yeah, man, overturn that, overturn that. And they do the replay, and there was no collusion. And then people are like, okay, well, we need to review it again and again and again, and there's something else that they did wrong. If you even started impeachment proceedings against Donald Trump right now, I mean, and Tulsi has said this, you'd have a backlash of epic proportions in this country. I even think it could even trigger some violence. People have said civil war and stuff like that. Don't do it. Don't stop it. Just stop it for the benefit of just sanity, and if you care about your fellow Americans at all, just stop it, okay? That's not the way to win an election. That's not the way to get Donald Trump defeated. As a former Trump supporter, you can easily defeat Donald Trump using logic, ideas, and a clear voice, like Tulsi Gabbard has on issues. And I would even say Bernie Sanders to some degree, but Tulsi is still my favorite. I think Bernie is a guy who you can kind of poke fun at and have some of it stick. With Tulsi Gabbard, you're dealing with somebody who's so grounded, a serious candidate, and somebody who has they've got the ability to counter-narrative you and kind of make you look foolish, because she doesn't do it in a way that's demeaning. And see, if you put her up against Trump, and the contrast is so stark. You put Bernie up there with Trump, and yeah, you are going to get the two old white guys with the crazy hair. I have to say that is that little aspect that the Washington Post put in their article. That's true. For people, workaday people who aren't thinking about deep issues and they want to kind of see something a little different. First of all, Tulsi's going to catch your attention because she's 37 years old. She's an attractive woman. She's poised. She's military. I mean, all of the different factions that are going to come together. Do you want this as your president? Like I said in one video, the upgrade would be incredible to go from Trump to Tulsi. It'd just be off the charts, amazing, fantastic. But quickly I want to talk about a word that I think progressives have to be able to explain to people when they're talking policy and issues. And I've noticed Tulsi doesn't like to use labels. At the CNN debate, she sidestepped the word socialism, and a lot of progressives were upset by that. Or people were saying, well, she just doesn't want to say it, you know. And I think the word has been bastardized, and being a former sort of right-wing guy, and I still have some of those beliefs, and I incorporate them into what I think now. I think using the word socialism and not explaining it properly, or not people's let me put it this way. People's perception and understanding of the word doesn't match up with what you're actually proposing. For instance, the two things that are pillars to both Tulsi and Bernie's campaign, healthcare and education. Who's paying for it? We are. We'd be paying for it. That's the thing. You'd say, well, it's socialism. Well, but we're paying for it. We'd be paying for, if say we made, my proposal would be simple. Make public college free and build some public colleges. Like high schools are free. Not everybody needs to go to public colleges, by the way. And not everybody, what I would say is build some vocational schools that are free. Public education. You might have to raise taxes a few bucks to do it. Maybe more than a few bucks. But you could raise it, you could get corporations, these wealthy corporations to kick in and pay for it. They'd look like great citizens. But we're paying for K through 12 right now. Pre-K through 12. We're paying for it. Okay? My son goes to pre-K. That's paid for by the state of Florida. They put money into this and you qualify for it and you set up and people are getting paid in order to take care of my son for a few hours and to educate him. All right? So we've collectively decided that that's a good thing. Same thing with healthcare. You just open it up to everybody and you're already paying for it now. Not sure if you have to pay more for it. I know for a fact that if you had younger people who are in the program, who are floating everybody, and the older people, I think it would work out. I think you wouldn't have people getting denied care, and I think Medicare has a pretty high satisfaction rate as well. And again, we're paying for it. So think of that when people say the word socialism, and they have, you know, I tell you what, independent voters, a lot of people have been, I don't want to say brainwashed, because that's probably not the right term. Gaslighted might be a better term, where people have heard it and heard it and heard it, and they have no other perspective, and they can't wrap their mind around it, they can't justify it, and they just think progressives are all wacky socialists that are trying to take over my life and so forth. No, that's not what it is. And commentators as well need to kind of go through this, because I've watched a lot of progressive media and I've learned a lot, and the conversations have been very elevated, you know, like intellectual. Like try watching Glenn Greenwald for a little while and your brain will start to overheat, and it's just, wow, this guy is sharp, he's smart. But while explaining these things, again, maybe you talk it down to the common man. And I'm not saying talk it down for stupid people, or talk it down because you're ashamed of it, or you're embarrassed that, oh no, I'm going to have to explain this. I think when you become a progressive or a conservative or what, a libertarian, you kind of wear a badge. You know, like, look at me, I'm a progressive, and this is my progressive badge. And you check all the boxes, and I'm not that person, by the way. And I'm not trying to be my own snob here, but I'm independent. So there's no badge I'm going to wear. If I show up and I meet progressives on the street, I'm going to tell them, hey, I'm a little crazy on this issue or that issue, but man, do I agree with you. Anti-war, take care of the people at home, make sure people have health care, make sure people have education, criminal justice reform, I'm good with. I mean, I can go down a list of things. Environmental protections, I'm real big on those. We got water problems here in Florida with blue-green algae floating up and down the Caloosahatchee River, and then killing the beaches and killing the tourism. So yeah, do I want a clean environment? Pff, duh. And most people do. But you've got to be able to kind of explain it in a way that doesn't make you sound alarmist or extremist. And I'm just saying, these are things that people care about on the right and the center. On the left, I think it's because you have kind of inherent understanding of these issues in a way that you feel comfortable with. But it's kind of like when somebody joins your club and they don't know the lingo. They don't know the language you're speaking. And when you start speaking it, they're like, oh, you know, that sounds a little extreme for me. That sounds a little harsh. Can you explain that better? And they may not even ask you that. They may just say, you know what, this isn't for me. I'm going to walk away. So, and there's a whole movement of people walking away, by the way, because I was watching that movement for a while. And it's because some of the, I would call it the liberal people who are tribal, are creating this environment where it's hostile and mean, and it's just anti-Trump, and it's no ideas, or it's ideas that are reheated or left over, they don't really have any impact, and that's what I call a neoliberal. And it's mostly the neolibs who are out there who are scaring, conservatives and neocons or whoever on the other side into this tribal battle where ideas aren't really important. It's about winning the game. And I'm so over winning the game. I want the country to be truly a good place to live. And I want people, we have a housing crisis here in Florida as far as rents go. And I was looking all over the country, and rents are ridiculous everywhere. And that is the rental bubble, and nobody's talking about that issue. I think some of these candidates need to start talking about affordable housing and how we create that housing for people. And I'm not saying free housing, I'm saying affordable housing. That would be a start as well to get people off the streets and get some of their dignity back. It's bad out there. It's horrible. And Tulsi Gabbard, she's smart because she doesn't like to use labels. And I think labels are divisive sometimes, or labels alienate people from what you're actually trying to tell them, or what you're trying to sell them, in a sense. People will work against their own economic interests because they've been so duped into thinking the wrong things. So that's my video on the topic. It's not about socialism. It's about taking care of people who need help in certain areas, and nobody's suggesting a command and control economy where government takes over the means of production in pretty much everybody's life. That would not go over well here in America, the land of the free. All right? So that's my perspective. I'll talk to you soon.